Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about XDC, aka Xinfin Network. And yeah, we actually have quite a bit of things to talk about. I have been addressing the trade finance market in multiple videos, even around like Hedera, for an example. But today we actually have something very interesting to talk about. But before we jump on in, I just want to really quickly ask you guys, comment down below how your day is going. I want to hear from you guys. I love seeing everybody kind of comment in the comments. A lot of the people that are commenting on these videos as well, please report all of the scam bots. Like, I've been seeing it. It's so hard to manage it. Like, I'm not even going to joke around with you guys. Like, I try to, and like there's no point. Like, every single time that I go to delete one, there's like 100 of them. But nonetheless, we have been watching this market fairly closely, and we have been seeing like Xinfin kind of turning green, but now since then, like the entire market is slightly pulling back. So Xinfin has fallen on the list. I don't know where she is. She was originally at the top of the list, so actually here we have it. Yeah, so we're actually on the 7-day span, so that's probably why. But on the 24-hour span, it did turn slightly green for a little bit of time there when we were above 3 cents. On the last 7 days, you guys do see a slight uptrend. It's like nothing too crazy. We went from like 2.5 cents to almost like 3 cents. I would have loved a little bit more price action on it, to be completely honest with you guys, but it is what it is. Right now, a lot of altcoins and even this market is still waiting for like stability to arrive, but we just have not seen that yet. But today we actually have quite a bit of things to talk about. I mean, we have been seeing a lot of updates around like trade finance itself. We actually have this article here posted by, of course, the business development manager at XDC Foundation. And this is, of course, from the World Trade Organization, the WTO. And in regards to this market, they are mentioning a few things. Sorry. Here we have it up here. So we do see overview of the research. According to the World Trade Organization, 80 to 90% of the world trade relies on trade finance. No surprise there, like trade finance is a very large area to focus on. Now, this report is actually coming from, 4 major markets of interest, which is Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and the UK. And we are actually seeing down here, traditionally, the letter of credit, LC, or documentary collection, DC, have been the main instruments used, but in recent decades, global forces have increased the, volume of open account trade conducted, more so around like world trade flows. And here's the conducted research down here. They're talking about like the focused areas. We also do see both funded and unfunded trade finance products are often a lifeline to cross-border SMEs, particularly during economic downturns, which, by the way, I want you guys to understand that cross-border payments around SMEs, like cross-border SMEs in general, this is a very large market to talk about. I mean, I discussed it in a document with XRP. It was more so kind of focusing on how large of an aspect they play, which is like a 70%, aspect in a $200 trillion market. Just to kind of give you guys a quick insight there. But we also do see down here like TFG, sorry, also compared macroeconomic export data provided by Trade Data Monitor to assess sentiment towards digital trade finance and export opportunities by trading partner and commodity type. The SME survey asked respondents to indicate their interest in trade, inventory, and invoice finance. The survey also investigated the likelihood of SMEs to pay for these services at certain annualized price points, and of course other examples of research conducted or areas of research: trade finance market overview, views on documentary collection and letters of credit, propensity of or to pay, optimal margins, and of course usage of letters of credit and market proposition. And yeah, I think that when we talk about like the SME market, Xinfin also has been focusing on like Xinfin, focusing on SMEs for trade finance around Xinfin, which is fairly exciting. And I definitely do think that this is something that we should be focusing on. Also, yet again, another post by the business development manager, XDC Foundation. He is quoting this tweet saying digitization, digital transformation, and trade finance. And he's quoting a tweet from ICC. Remember, this is 45 million companies, 1 billion employees in 100 plus countries, and over $10 trillion in yearly flows. Commercial trade documents are going digital. Get ready to go digital. Here we are seeing this major announcement from them. Bills of lading, bills of exchange, marine insurance documents, cargo insurance certificates, promissory notes, seaway bills, ships delivery orders, and warehouse receipts. What's going on with this? Well, this is basically an insight on everything that Xinfin will be digitizing. I'm actually very excited for all of this to go live. We are getting very, very close to a go live date, in my opinion. I think that we will see this fully announced very soon. And we actually do see down here that a few people have been commenting on this, specifically Utility Theory, going absolutely crazy with the threads on these documents. Insane. But we do see down here, you guys are leaders of the G7. Keep pushing for trade digitization. Governments across the globe need to wake up. The level of automation you are bringing to the world of trade is unimaginable to the people who haven't researched the tech. And here we have ADGM plus ITFA Worldwide plus Andre Casterman, Unicitral, LATR, DDoC, Standard Singapore, ADGM, UK, ICC, WBO, Digital Standards Initiative leading the revolution. And yeah, this is like a major revolution around digitization. And we actually do see down here like the Industry Cooperation Terror Task Force, United Nations, ICC, Abu Dhabi Global Market, G7, Law Commission as well, and of course Anigio DDoC built on XDC. Here you guys have it. Major opportunities around like XDC right now. I mean, like we are seeing a major push towards digitization. Now is like the major time to focus on this as well, by the way. Have you guys been paying attention to like all of the talks around like digitization and sustainability? Yeah, I do believe that this is where we should really kind of focus on Xinfin, because we're seeing a spotlight being put on, sustainability and the environment itself. And what better way to go about that than digitizing every single document in the world? And yes, it's not only around like, trade finance. Again, going back to this initial statement here. So, all right, so sorry, that was a part of utility theories. You can see all the other areas to focus on as well. And I do believe that Xinfin will bleed into everyday life eventually and pretty much digitize every single document that flows through, the system, which I definitely look forward to seeing at some point in time. But this is extremely exciting. Also, Impel announced this. Did you know that Impel Official is currently the only bridge provider to the Inside R3 Corda blockchain platform? Wow, say that like 5 times fast. Can use digital assets for payment/settlement. Watch the video demo below. And yeah, I do think that when we talk about settlement, remember what I've said about XDC as a token. Everybody continuously talks down on the idea that Xinfin is announcing like a trade finance token itself. But people don't realize that like the amount of liquidity that will be sourced through XDC alone. And remember, the supply is not that large. There's 37.7 billion total supply, 12.31 billion circulating supply. Remember, that is not that much of a supply when you actually look at the network and the network demand that it will have eventually. Remember, everything that happens on these networks needs to have settlement through something like a token that could provide liquidity. And XDC is that liquidity token for Xinfin, similar to XRP, on, of course, Ripple. So very exciting for that. Also, we do see over here, indeed, XDC. Here you have $10 trillion in trade annually, 45 million businesses. This is just how large the market is for XDC. Remember what I told you guys about like just 1% of the market that they're going after? Yeah, that's a $19 trillion market, but this is $10 trillion in trade annually. Imagine how many documents, imagine just the amount of volume and value behind those documents that will be pushed through something like Xinfin, which again, direct connection here. Why do you believe that the business developer manager is quoting this tweet and saying, digitization, digital transformation, trade finance? The connections here are very large. And again, I've discussed it to you guys many, many times. We just looked at the utility theory roadmap on this. There's a ton of other connections as well within this thread that I do think that you should all go check out. Because again, this is a very, very large amount of money that would, essentially flood through Xinfin. $10 trillion. The amount of documents would be mind-blowing. And also, we do have over here, yet again from Crypto KJ2, because we do have a little bit of a response down here. I know you know this, but I'd like to remind people that ICC WBO is a sponsor of the TFDI. Also, I see now that Gulf International Bank is a member as well. Finally, Fin Global. Sorry, that was kind of confusing on the name there. As a non-bank originator with TFDI cannot be underestimated. XDC, my friend, let's roll. And yes, here you guys have the direct connections to ICC. Also, you have ITFA here, World of Open Account, and then of course ICISA. This is from the TFDI, which of course, XDC is a part of. And we do see over here TFDI, here are all the other major banks. By the way, Rabobank just discussed with Swift just the other day, I think, about like digitization. I actually included that in my XDC video. If you guys do want to go check that out, you guys are more than welcome to. And of course, you do see all of the other major names on here, like Commonwealth Bank, Deutsche Bank, Standard Bank, Standard Chartered. There's so many major names on the TFDI. And of course, Gulf International Bank is one of them. Guys, things are rapidly changing around this space, and I'm so excited to see things really kind of unfold. It's going to unfold at such a rapid pace, and talking about rapid paces, check this out. Andre Kasserman, July will deliver a hot news on TFDI tokenization option, whilst August will focus on DNI initiative adoption. Yeah, this is something to pay attention to. This summer is going to be something special for a lot of these tokens. We haven't seen so much updates around a lot of these tokens, and this one I definitely am paying attention to because they are now focusing on adoption of the DNI initiative, which again directly, let's just open this real quick, because I really want to just look into this real quick for you guys, just to kind of show you guys something. So hold on one second while this loads. So here we have it. So this is from Andre Kasserman. This goes back 2 days ago. The summer will bring hot news from fintechs and banks involved in the trade finance industry's leading fintech community and initiatives. Here's where they're talking about like the adoption of DLT. We will also help banks make sense of DLT on both DNI initiative and TFDI, if you will. Just a few more days to reach the next milestone. For the 300 plus of you joining the ITFA community in Porto San Juan, banking reporter at S&P Global, and I will welcome you on September 7th to share the latest market development with, of course, a whole bunch of names. And we also cover the value of NFTs and trade finance and how the metaverse will impact us. Collaboration at its best. And of course, look at all these other names down here. Anigio, TradeTech, TraxPay, Lloyds Bank, Citi, Xinfin is mentioned right here, MetaBlocks as well, Global Trade. There's so many names down here. And of course, going back, of course, to this, DNI, right? Here you have DNI. So of course, this is from the ITFA, corporate and SMEs, DNI at the center here, digital and negotiable instruments, DNI, MLETR, compliant instruments, superior user experience and security product differentiation, and volume growth. And then we do see bank and non-bank originators, TFDI, trade finance distribution, TFD, automated trade distribution, increased funding capacity and net interest income, new investment opportunities in real economy, banks, institutional investors, and credit issuers. Yeah, this is, at the end of the day, going to be something special. We are seeing the digitization of legacy paperwork, if you will, around documents that are fairly important and also at a very large scale too. Like if you guys actually look into like trade documents themselves, there is so much to digitize. So think about it like this, right? You're doing $10 trillion annually. I don't know, maybe it's like, maybe it's like 500 billion pieces of paper or documents. It all depends on like the transactional flow, right? Because you still need to tokenize every single one of those documents on the Xinfin network using XDC. So when we look at that, like think about how much usage that actually is going to be. And this is how everything will work. This is from corporates and SMEs to bank and non-bank originators to banks, institutional investors, and of course credit issuers, or insurers, I'm very excited for this. We are going to see a lot more updates around this. Like I said, I'm definitely paying attention to not only this month, but also next month and September as well. I think it's going to be a very special few months ahead. I think that everybody should definitely be focusing on this as well. And if you guys haven't already, definitely go follow Andre Kasserman on Twitter. There's a ton of updates around this, but a lot of people are looking into this and even sharing it. I mean, if you look at like some of the people that are interested, you also do see like Andre Kasserman, responding down here about like, where we are headed. But, if you look at some of the individuals that respond to like these announcements on LinkedIn, they're very large names. So Very excited for it. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the description below, or in the comments below, sorry. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.